Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience Week 13 spread picks, game previews, SUPERLOCKS, stuff that's under Cust. It's all going to be in here. No Survivor picks, though. Geoff Fienberg's here. Is anyone left in Survivor? Do you know anyone left in Survivor?
I know one guy left, and I thought he had KC last week, and he told me late in the day he took swap to Atlanta.
Smart.
Yeah, he's like 8 people left in his thing, so he's getting real into it.
Yeah, if there's 8 people left in your Survivor pool, that's for a lot of money at this point.
Yeah, it is. But he doesn't know any of the guys,
so he can't
like work arrangements yet. So it's kind of awkward.
How many people in the pool total?
I'm not sure, but it is real money.
Like thousands of people.
And
probably?
says he's like a week away from like betting on the other sides of his games. Like it's good money.
Like yeah, you could probably reach out to those people though. That's usually what happens in these really like even when there's like 20 people left, they're like, you know what? Let's cut it 8. Yeah, cut it 20 ways, cut it 8 ways, whatever. We're all winners here. All right, the third member of the team. Here are a few things I want to go over first though. Actually, give the episode a like. Helps more than people know. Just like leaving a review on iTunes and Stitcher and all that. It takes like 10 seconds, and it makes people find the show, and that's what I'm interested in. People finding the show, having a laugh, having a good time. And that's something we're going to do over the course of Christmas. I'm going to try to have a new show, every day over the holidays. That's going to take some planning, but one that I want to do are the year-end Ender Custies, the most cursed things of the year, or best Tim moments of the year. So if you're on the YouTube page, it probably works better with Twitter, so if you tweet me, use the hashtag Custy, C-U-S-T-Y, and tweet at me your favorite Tim moment of the year. Most cursed moment, funniest moment, maybe a prediction Tim actually got right, because that's probably a category that we're going to have to do. Very limited category. It's not going to be like the Oscars Best Picture where there's like 10 nominees. There's like 2 or something.
For me, it was one of the majors. Like, he literally...
Was it the DJ Rom Duffner when they all missed the cut?
It might have been, but he took 3 world-class players at a world-class event and sent them all home.
I happen to think that the leader in the clubhouse right now...
Kareem Hunt?
...is the Falcons.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
The Falcons, it's over at halftime. Although Nate Peterman's pretty close. Poor guy. Andrew Kirst's career. Never play again. Or, a sneaky one is Bishop Sankey, who Tim was hyping in the preseason. Then he blew out his knee the next day. Anyway, let's bring him in. The third member of the team. Hashtag Custy. Don't forget that. It's Tim Cust.
Tim Cust.
That is not my name. I'm glad you didn't bring me in when you were talking about all the money people are winning in these suicide pools. Made me sad.
Is it because you actually got eliminated week 1?
No, it was because I went 17-0 last year and didn't make any money out of it.
That might be the most cuss thing ever.
Yeah, but that was last year. Oh no, maybe it was week 17 in January.
Could have been.
No, that's in consideration.
Could have
been. I would encourage people, if you're going to write these moments, use it as your comment on the iTunes page. That's where I would prefer to see it.
Ah, see, this is good, Brand. Tim's starting to get it a little bit.
But
here's the thing about that though. I can't see all the comments all the time. Like we
can see the comments. You get us to 500 reviews, I have something special for the people, but only when we get to 500 reviews.
I think we are at 500 reviews. You can only see you can only see the Canadian page.
Okay, well, we can get over 1,000 then. What's a number that you're at?
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's tough for us to see the U.S. reviews in full because we don't have access to the U.S. site.
I see. Well, I guess we can't lay a number out, but I want to see reviews through that. 5 stars, that's what we need.
No, you should just put it on Twitter, hashtag Custy. Go leave a review independently, and then go to Twitter, use hashtag Custy, and put Tim in the tweet too. It'll make him feel bad.
Yeah, I don't need to feel bad about these things.
Well, you can be like Trump. Trump gets all of his information by just scrolling through his ats on Twitter as it came out today. That's how Tim gets all his information. You're like the same guy.
Twitter is a great source of news. I mean, there isn't a day of the week I don't think about, maybe I should just get away from Twitter, but you can't.
It's true.
Yeah. All right. Records from last week. I was 7-8. That brings me to, where did I have it written down here? 86 and 83 for the year. Geoff was 9-6. The push was the Monday night game, by the way. 78 and 91.
I'm coming back.
You're fighting for 500 here. Time's running out. Cust was 9-6. He is 86 and 83, tied with me for the lead in the poor coin. 7-8. Another losing week for the coin. Now 3 games under 500 for the year. 83 and 86. I got my super lock wrong because Tennessee covered the hook. That sucked, but you had Buffalo, Geoff. That was correct. Tim had the Ravens, which was a push. So
I'm
Super
Lock push of the year.
What's that?
First Super Lock push of the year.
So I am 8-4 in the Super Lock. Geoff, you're again churning towards 500. You're 5-7, and Tim, you are 6-5 for the year on Super Lock. His free money teaser on Thanksgiving hit.
Yes.
Although it lost on Sunday when the Steelers did not cover the -7.
No, it lost when the Saints didn't cover the +9.5.
They did cover the +9.5.
They backdoored it.
Yeah.
Did they? I thought they lost 23-10.
No, they lost
they lost
26-20.
26-20. Another touchdown in that game.
Okay.
It was like a 40-second drive.
The Steelers were the wrong side, so I don't feel bad about that one. I picked a bad team.
All right, let's get into the games. Thursday nighter, Washington at Dallas. Dallas +2 at home. I feel like Dallas should be like +38 at home after watching them the past few weeks. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. I'm going to make this short because it's Thursday. Most people will watch it afterwards. #Custy, don't forget that, and the like. But I like Washington, -2 on the road.
Sean Lee's out. I like Washington. I think they'll be able to score some points with relative ease. And fact of the matter is, when it comes to the Redskins, the Cowboys, Dak and Jason Garrett, there's some adversity there. I don't really have any confidence that they'll overcome. Can you name one instance in Jason Garrett's tenure where he's overcome adversity? Outside of like Dak being shining like a light as a rookie? Like any game that they're down by a lot or any in-season time where they need to rally around anything that Jason Garrett has ever done it? I don't think it's happening this week either.
So you're taking Washington?
Yeah.
The coin likes Washington. Tim, are we too high on Washington? Is this a pivot spot to go to Dallas?
I will take Washington with the greatest amount of trepidation because they don't have anybody who plays offense anymore. And so that is a significant issue.
I think Jamison Crowder just put up like 150 yards. You got VD. Hey, Vern.
P. Ryan had a 100-yard game on the ground.
Yeah, Josh Doxson has no one to lock him down this week.
They played a far inferior team last week at home and did everything in their power to barely win that game. That game was 20-10. That game could have been the Giants could have won that game. That was a very poor showing from the Skins. But then neither of these teams have any real hope for the future. Yeah, in theory, if either one out, they make the playoffs, but no one believes that's going to happen. So I'll take the Redskins because I think they're better. I think the line is short. But will it shock me if Dallas won this game? By no means.
Dallas was given 2 mulligans on Thursday, and they didn't do anything with them. They also won first down on offense quite a bit early in that game, and in the end stalled in every situation.
I think this line should be higher.
I agree.
And I think you're getting the Dallas primetime spotlight.
I'll tell you this. Any good quarterback, veteran-savvy quarterback that can make a change at the line of scrimmage, without Sean Lee, you have the advantage pre-snap every single time now. It seems like versus the Cowboys.
And if you
they can't get in the right play on defense.
But if you reverse engineer it as well, and you look at the offensive side of the ball, what's Dallas going to be able to do? I mean, obviously the Skins defense isn't as good as the Chargers defense, but it's like basically a top 10 unit. They have a really good pass rush. The offensive line for the Cowboys is still banged up. They're moving Leal Collins around the offensive line. You do have Josh Norman to take away Dez. I know Dez has been garbage, but if he can't get going, like your running game can't do anything. Your offensive line's hurt. Dak has been terrible. And if Dez isn't doing anything, you're not doing anything.
For the people watching, if Zach Martin is also out, because Sean Lee's been confirmed, I don't know about Zach Martin.
He's dealing with a concussion. It's a short week. I doubt he plays.
This makes it a money bet for me.
Well, this is the thing. I don't ever like to do this, and I haven't done it all year. But like, I would put
Thursday Night Football.
I know. I've bet a few games. I usually get them wrong, so take that with a grain of salt. But Washington's going to be my super lock -2.
There it is. So if you're watching this against the wire, get it in.
Yeah, and you can all laugh at me if you're watching it after the fact. All right. So round to Washington for everyone. Every time that usually happens, the other team wins. Just saying. When the three of us and the coin are all on the same page, never works out well.
Especially for a Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday's a tricky spot. Denver at Miami. Miami, a 1.5-point dog at home against Denver. Denver is starting Trevor Siemian at quarterback. Miami just lost even more pieces on defense. Cutler will draw the start. For them, no Damian Williams, all Kenyon Drake all day. Even Signoris Perry is out for this game, I think, with a concussion, but he's going to be their back. They basically have no backup running back at this point. Tim, let's go to you here. I can't in good conscience bet on Miami. They're so bad.
They're bad. Denver's worse. Dolphins do play decent at home. We see that time and time again. The Dolphins are competitive in games at home. And they more or less, although they were competitive at Foxborough last week, they beat the heck out of Tom Brady. That defense hung tough against the Patriots. The Dolphins, haven't quit. The Broncos clearly have a coach who's not going to be back next year. The Broncos are clearly in a tailspin in the way that I don't think Miami's in a tailspin. Like, Miami's a bad team, but I think the Broncos are in a devastating situation, and that's spiraling. So between two bad football teams at Hard Rock, give me the Fish. I think the Fish get it done. Here's
the thing. Miami couldn't cover the 16.5 last week, and they were given 7 free points.
They were. That's true, but the Patriots are a darn good team. They didn't cover it by a half point. It was a weird, like you said, the game score is not indicative of the play. I felt like it was like a 10 or 11 or 12 or 13-point game, not a 17-point game. Like, the Dolphins were never going to win that game, but they were not ever going to get blown out either. I think, whereas we saw the Patriots play Denver, and Denver didn't have a chance. So, yeah, I think I think the Dolphins are the play here.
One of these teams lost 5 in a row. One of these teams have lost 7 in a row. I'll tell you what. I think it's the Broncos that get off the mat here.
Me too.
And it's a very, I don't walk into this pick.
Well, what's the best unit on the field in this game? It's still Denver's defense.
Yeah, it still is. The Dolphins to me are...
The Dolphins are bad at everything.
They're bad at everything, and unlike a lot of teams in this league that have leaders, their highest paid player, I'll go back to it, is Namdekong Suh. The Dolphins are a complete fade team through Christmas. They absolutely are. This coach, the one thing that makes me nervous actually about leaning Denver is the familiarity with
Gase knows with Denver,
how they run offense, and he would know how to scheme for Von Miller, I guess, as good as anyone in the league. Maybe. That's the one thing. This Dolphins team's going to be a dumpster fire through December.
Well, the pass rush is still high end for Denver. The offensive line in Miami is like, all right, and if they can start getting to Cutler, I mean, that's basically free points on defense.
The Dolphins, the Chargers missed a chip shot. They played the Titans without Matt Castle. They're an abomination. With Matt Castle. For whatever reason, the Falcons only played to halftime in that game. There's nothing to like here.
I'm not going to say lock in Denver. I just think that the parts of Denver are a better team than the parts of Miami are. They're both on a slide. Just
Jay Cutler makes me more inclined to want to play Denver as well.
I don't even know about that.
Jay Cutler revenge. We're also going to tease the Dolphins up on a 6.5-point teaser this week to +8.
That's going to backfire.
Miami +8. You're putting Miami on a free money tease.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to tease up the? Are you going to end up teasing up the Browns at 20?
So this is a 6.5-point teaser?
This is a 6.5-point teaser this week.
Okay.
Oh, so it's getting tricky on us now.
Yeah.
All right, so you and I are on Denver. The coin and Tim are on Miami. Detroit at Baltimore. Baltimore -2 at home against the Lions. The Lions.
Extra rest.
I really feel like they should have won on Thanksgiving.
Do you know who the quarterbacks Baltimore's beaten this year?
I don't. Kaiser.
Dalton.
Tom Savage.
Tom Savage. Brett Hundley. Oh, you made me lose my train of thought. E.J. Manuel.
Oh, E.J. Manuel.
And there's another really bad one.
This game is at 3, not 2.
What? At 2?
He was -3.
I'm seeing 2.5.
I have it at 2.5. I had it 2.5 as of an hour ago.
And that's interesting. And if there's a 3 out there, I mean, from a betting perspective,
I'm 3 this very second on 365.
Well, I already have it down as 2.5. It's 2.5.
Okay, I like Detroit at 2.5. I like them at 3. I'm nervous. I'm taking all these short road teams in all these games. It's a very nervous setup. I believe if Stafford's playing, he got the full practice yesterday. He's not on that list of quarterbacks
who suck
skill set who suck. My one concern is Detroit can't run the ball for their life, and the Ravens can play the pass. So from a matchup perspective, there are things, X's and O's wise, that actually scare me. This
You just want Baltimore to lose.
Well, that goes without saying, but I think this is a game they can lose, and I think they're playing a real quarterback, and they haven't beaten a real quarterback all year, period.
Per DVOA, Baltimore is the best defense in the league.
Get out of town. I'm not disagreeing. I'm like pondering.
They're the second best team in the AFC after Pittsburgh, according to DVOA, and yeah, they're the best defense and best special teams. Detroit doesn't have a chance in this game. I think the Lions. This is a dumb line. Even though the Lions have the super mini bye and the Ravens are coming off Monday night, the Ravens are at home still, so that's fine. I think the Ravens absolutely disassemble. This Ravens team might not lose another game all year. They might until they get to the playoffs. Like, would it shock me this team went 11-5? Not in the least. That defense.
They haven't beaten anybody.
Pardon me? You can only beat who you are facing.
No, yeah, and the teams that are good, they haven't beaten who they've played, is my point.
They have shut out 3 teams this season. You shut out 3 NFL teams, that is unbelievably impressive. It doesn't matter who's playing for you. This Ravens team is pretty decisively, I think, the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC. They're a cut above everybody else, fighting for the playoffs, in my opinion. And, I think they absolutely just rip apart the Lions, who are reeling and done.
How can you say this about a team that hasn't beat a single team of class?
Because the numbers indicate that these numbers take into account the competition.
Well, first of all, you need to take the numbers with a grain of salt, because as we've learned about Tim in like DVOA and advanced analytics, Tim only likes to use the ones that agree with him, and when they don't agree with him, he's like, "Oh no, that's just wrong."
Just to clarify,
I don't really care about the Ravens one way or the other. I don't even really like the Baltimore Ravens.
They have one of the worst offenses in football.
The only opposing quarterbacks that they beat are Dalton, Kaiser, E.J. Manuel, Matt Moore, Brett Hundley, and Tom Savage. They haven't played a game of class. Their next 2 games are against Stafford and Roethlisberger. We'll see.
I'm kind of torn here because I think Baltimore's defense, where Detroit's offensive line is not very good, and they can't run the ball. The one thing that I will give Detroit was the Texans were able to move the ball on them through the air. Like, all right, on Monday night, I was kind of surprised by that. I thought that'd be a lower scoring game. And when you have Flacco coming back the other way, Detroit's defense isn't terrible either. Like, they can get a turnover here. They can rattle. If Flacco's only throwing the ball 3 yards down the field, I think I'm going to take Detroit. I like Detroit in these close games. Like, these are the ones they just grease out at the last second and win.
2 world-class kickers.
Do you think that's Baltimore's biggest advantage if they can get into the playoffs? They have the best defense. They have the best kicker.
Cannot stand it. I needed him under a number to win a match, and it's just a hopeless feeling. It's a hopeless feeling because everything is center cut. He's so freaking good.
Played was one of my favorite moments in fantasy is when you needed in our keeper league to get like 8 points out of Stafford and Megatron, and you didn't get it against our buddy.
Yeah, I remember.
That was such a great day because he was conceding the entire day.
Yeah, well, it didn't work out. That was a Monday night game, too.
It was a Monday night game, and last night Tucker made like 12 field goals or something.
Also, we saw it on Monday night. The conversion rate of the surprise fake. What is it? 70%?
No, because I feel like you only remember. No, I feel like you only remember the ones that work.
No, I remember them all, and I don't see anything.
I remember last Monday night when Pete Carroll tried to fake a field goal at the end of the half and it didn't work.
That was surprise AF, but that was as dumb as it gets. Like, there's got to be an element of somewhat common. I don't know, man. The surprise fake.
What do you think the ideal number of, like, trick plays, fake plays are for a good team all season? I feel like you get 2 max.
Well, I get 0 my entire life.
That's true. When was the last time the Chargers ran
Never! And I thought it was McCoy's fault. Now, granted, the defense, I want to get to midfield and do what other teams do.
All right, Houston at Tennessee. For that game, Tim in the corner on Baltimore. Jeff and I are on Detroit. Houston at Tennessee. Tennessee minus 6.5. Here's the thing. Tennessee, again, didn't look good. They stupidly covered the number because the Colts are morons. They sacked Jacoby Brissett 8 times. That's insane.
The strip sack cost you the number.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate at the 8-yard line.
And them not converting anything into touchdowns every time they got into the red zone, except for one Frank Gore touchdown, shockingly enough. And the Texans, I mean, the Texans are the Texans. They're not great. Savage isn't very good. But the best player in this game is DeAndre Hopkins, so that means something. And Clowney might be the best player on defense in the game. 6.5 just seems like a big number for Tennessee. And the last time these two teams played, I think Tennessee lost by 78 points.
Yeah, it was like 55. However,
that is sort of part of the reason I like Tennessee, I feel, in this game. Okay. I think Houston might be hitting a wall. Their injuries really starting to catch up to them. Not a game I certainly love, but the things that Tennessee does, I think might help them lead them to a victory and a cover.
I don't know, their pass defense still greatly worries me. And the one thing that's been still sort of consistent with the Houston offense is they're getting DeAndre Hopkins the ball and he's making plays still. Every single week. He's had 3 awful matchups in a row, and he's come through them on the other side doing pretty well. And now he gets a weak spot. Like, this could be like a 15-catch day for DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if they win, but I think they can keep it within this number. I like Houston. Tim, who do you like?
Oh, I like the Titans. We're teasing them down to a pick. And I just have no faith in the Houston Texans. I think they played as good as they could have in a marquee primetime game on Monday, but just couldn't hang. And, yeah, Tennessee will just ground them out. The running game is still a quality part of that team. They'll be upset at the fact that the Texans blew them out. Their only divisional loss all season. This game is huge. Jacksonville doing what they do, losing last week, opens the door for Tennessee to really put themselves in a really great position divisionally by getting an extra game on them before they play again. Tennessee needs the game desperately. They're going to have it.
I'm still trying to figure out how he's so impressed by Baltimore.
Because their defense is amazing. And I don't think,
Eric Weddle is amazing. I'll give you that.
The Pittsburgh Steelers do not want to see the Baltimore Ravens.
You know who else they don't want to see?
Yeah. All the teams for the playoffs, the Ravens would be the last team they would want to see from the outside of the top 5. Guaranteed, the Ravens would be the team they'd say, well, please keep them out. Let someone else in.
You're right. That's definitely the team. Yeah, you're right. That's definitely the team.
That's definitely the team. The team that can score 0 points.
That's definitely the team that they're afraid of. Got it.
There's no debate in my mind. That's who they're afraid of. Because Baltimore can ruin their offense in a way that no other team competing really can in that way. In my opinion.
0.
I could be wrong.
I think you're wrong on this one.
That's fine. I guarantee you, if you ask Ravens or Patriots fans or Steelers fans, who do you not want to see in round 2? Should a team advance? They would say
sure. That's great, Tim. All you ever do is call the Patriots fans a bunch of morons. So yeah, their opinion's just very valid.
And Baltimore is one of those very, very few teams, perhaps the only team, who is not afraid to go into Foxborough and play darn good playoff games. No one else can say that. Literally no one else.
You were there, man. You saw a safety. You saw an egregious offensive PI taken away. You saw it.
But at no point did we ever think the Chargers were going to win that game.
Because they mushed themselves. Once that safety happened, you're like, they're done. Anyways, we'll go.
Baltimore's going to beat the Patriots 3-0 in the playoffs, according to Tim.
I don't think so, but I'm just saying the Patriots would, or the Steelers would have more trouble with Baltimore than anybody else. That's my opinion.
The coin and I are on Houston. Tim and Geoff are on Tennessee. Indy at Jacksonville. Jacksonville -9.5. That's risky biz. I'm going to eat the 9.5 and take Jacksonville. If the last time these two teams played, Jacksonville sacked Brissett over 10 times. Tennessee just sacked him 8 times, and Tennessee has no pass rush, especially coming off the loss last week, back at home. I just don't know how Indy moves the ball against Jacksonville. I really don't. And I think Jacksonville can score more than 14 points against Indy, and if that's going to be the case, then Jacksonville probably covers this number. I'll take Jacksonville.
I think this line is wrong.
Okay.
I think it should be a lot shorter.
Okay.
So because of that, I will take Indianapolis.
Tim?
I feel the exact same way. This Jags team shouldn't be laying 9.5 into anybody, let alone a divisional opponent who actually has the better quarterback in the game. So
when I hate to say this because this game is getting super lock consideration, and I only say that based on before we do this or before I see spreads. Sometimes I like to think about what my own would be, and sometimes the ones that are the biggest differential are the ones that I put in consideration for super lock. Be risky to do that, but I had this game at like a 6.
Yeah,
and
that would have been.
And it crosses a key, it crosses a big key number. So for that reason alone, I'm considering it. But I see everything you're seeing, and you're it could be close or it could be 40-3. I get that.
And weirdly enough, the best games that Bortles has had basically in his career have all come against Indy. It's like the one team he knows how to play against.
The one team that puts 0 pressure on opposing quarterbacks.
Exactly. And they have one of the worst run defenses, too. So this could be a game where Fournette gets back on track. I think the defense will get them. They'll probably generate a touchdown at some point, and then they'll probably set up 3 short fields, which probably leads to 3 field goals. That's probably enough to cover this number.
I have nothing else to really break.
All right. Well, again, the coin and I on Jacksonville. Tim and Geoff on Indy. All right, Tim, here you go. Kansas City at the Jets. The Jets, 3.5-point dogs at home. Will Kansas City bust out of this slump at any point this season, or are they just a team to bet against every single week, do you think?
They're going to bust out of it this week.
So you like KC?
Yeah, I like them pretty handily, too. It's my week to make Super 7 picks, and I think I will have to have wild horses pull me away from not take the Chiefs this week.
Why is that?
Because this Jets team has quit. They don't believe in their coach. It's clear from watching the games.
They outgained the Panthers by 100 yards. There was a special teams touchdown, a dumb turnover.
Exactly. That's a game the Jets should have won by 10 to 14 points.
No, that's a game that was close, and the more talented Patriots found a way to do things. Panthers found a way to do things that make a difference. Yeah. But
Panthers. Yes, it was the Panthers.
You're so wrong, and I hate to do this. I gotta just load up Cam's stat line last week because I thought you guys did a fantastic job.
They did. The Jets, the coaching staff took the game away from the Jets.
11 of 28 for 168 with 28 on the ground? No one's done that to Cam in a month, and they quit?
Yes, well, first, Cam's not very good. Secondly,
Tim didn't like it when Cam scored a touchdown and celebrated. He thought that was very disrespectful.
And then they missed the extra point because ball don't lie. But listen, the Jets, it wasn't the Panthers that made the Jets throw the ball 3 consecutive times from the 1-yard line. It wasn't the Jets it wasn't the Panthers who made the Jets or who encouraged the Jets to kick super short field goals on 4th down instead of going for it. A coach who has no confidence in his team. A coach who doesn't know how to manage his timeouts. I thought the offensive coordinator actually gamed up a pretty good diagram to beat the Panthers. The head coach and the defensive coaching staff let the team down because he's not confident at what he does. The Jets played the Jets are a top 5 or 6 AFC team. The coaches, because they can't prepare them, have cost them at least 4 games this season.
And the league, hates them.
This is like the HMS Bounty, and Bowles is Captain Bligh. He is going to be mutineered here very soon because this team could be doing so much more without him. Why in God's name would they play super – now that the season is over, now that there are no chances for anything, why would they get up and play super hard against the Chiefs? I don't see it happening. Kansas City's in a desperate spot. Kansas City still has a lot of talent despite some bad games. I think the Chiefs get it done here, and I think the Jets – are probably going to lose the rest of their games the rest of the year. And in some ways, I hope they do to teach them a lesson. That's what they deserve.
And a week ago, the game my Chargers had to worry about was the Jet game.
Yeah.
So now he's just giving that one to me so I could plug that into the playoff generator as a win. Here's the thing, Tim. I'm not going to disagree with you about a lot of things as it relates to the coaching staff. You watch those plays, the play calls, the games a lot closer than I do when it comes to the Jets. But your notion that they quit is so off base.
No,
it's so off base.
I expect them to quit starting this week.
He's projecting them to start quitting this week.
And you know what? As a fan of a team, I'll give them that. You can argue that's a fair observation.
No, it's not. That's a ludicrous observation.
No, because when. See, I know the Chargers never quit because Philip Rivers never quits.
Yeah, but what if Eric Weddle is not going to halftime meetings? He's watching his daughter's dance recital.
That's bullshit. He's a defensive captain. We have a difference of opinion on that. He's a fantastic football player. The Jets have played so many really good teams tough.
Yeah, I think this is KC by 3. That extra hook makes me lean the Jets.
Yeah, I think KC wins, but I'm going to say that I think this is a really close game.
I mean, they almost covered last week, and they gave up a defensive touchdown and a kick return touchdown.
Yes, I'm aware of all of this. The Jets are a tough out. But now that the season's over and they played so great and their coach made decisions to take away a game from them, why are they going to come out and play hard again?
This is good. Me, you, and the coin. We'll take the Jets. He'll take the Chiefs. The Jets are going to win
Everyone's
the game.
A winner now. So, yeah, we can win and Tim can be happy. And now we're going to sit here next week and we're going to learn that Tim was just like, oh, the Jets are back in it. You know who the Patriots don't want to see in the playoff? The Jets. Baltimore Jets, AFC Championship.
The Jets defense at home.
I've already started to scout top 5, top 6 picks.
The Jets.
You're not getting a top 6 pick, pal. I hate to tell you.
By the numbers, right now they're projected to be the number 6 pick, I think.
The Jets at home.
They had Saquon Barkley going to us, which would be nice.
The Jets at home have battled some really fantastic teams. And again, Cam Newton, 14 for 28 for 168? Like less than 30.
You see how Park Avenue took away another touchdown from the Jets last week? But no, the league has nothing against the Jets. No.
You mean the same touchdown they take away from everyone?
Okay, I'm happy you brought this up because Tim lives at home. Oh, sorry, Tim is like at home. He gets a lot of alone time. Me and you, Pat, we worked in newsrooms, sports newsrooms, where there were like fans of 8 different teams.
And then fans of no teams, like me.
And then fans of no teams as well. And you would hear this. Like, I would have this complaint about the league, and then I'd hear someone make their Bills complain, or their Chiefs complain, or their Seahawks complain. You're like, okay, like...
It's happening.
It's happening. Everyone gets something. This guy just living alone and on Jets Reddit, like, actually believes Park Avenue is against them. It's so wrong.
Would you say that it's insane?
A little bit.
I think so, too. Sorry, Tim. So the 3 of us are all on the Jets. That's including the coin. Tim taking the other side, taking the Chefs.
Yeah, feel pretty good about it.
Minnesota at Atlanta. Atlanta is a 3-point favorite at home. They will get Devonta Freeman back in this game. I don't know if Trufant's playing or not. I don't know if he passed protocol. I didn't see any update on it this morning, but so he may or may not play. Case Keenum, Offensive Player of the Month. Maybe this whole, we're going to bench him for Teddy Bridgewater thing was something just to motivate him to play better.
That was never going to happen. I made that point 2 months ago. He was never getting benched unless he played unbelievably terribly.
Was there even a
no justification to ever make that change?
There wasn't even a moment where...
No, not really.
Well, they keep having to come out every week and say who their starter is.
Because there's people out there who are like, why isn't Teddy Bridgewater
playing?
No,
that's because the coach...
He's not their option.
The coach could stump all this by saying Keenum is our quarterback for the season. But he, like Zimmer, makes it week-to-week coach speak. That makes the question come up every Monday or Tuesday.
Well, maybe he wants to continue to motivate Case Keenum to show him, you have a bad game, you're done, pal.
And maybe, sure. The thing that really scares me about the next game, did you intro it?
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta has a huge... Atlanta's playing Carolina or New Orleans on Thursday next week.
So you think the look ahead is here?
I think it's a huge look ahead. I think this is a really close game. I think Atlanta wins 24-21, 27-24. I'm just going to take the points. I don't love this game at all. It's that Thursday night Atlanta in-division game coming up that is huge.
Tim, what's Atlanta's record?
I believe Atlanta is 7-4.
Have they lost to an NFC team yet?
Yeah, they have. They lost to... Who was the first NFC team they played after the AFC break? Hold on. I'll tell you. They lost to the Panthers 20-17.
Okay, that's right. So that's
then they have New Orleans, Tampa, New Orleans, Carolina. So all they've got left is, after this game, it's nothing but divisional games the rest of the way out.
So they basically control their own destiny here. They could lose this week and still basically go 3-1 over the course of the end of the season to make the playoffs.
Correct. They have everything still in front of them. This is not a must-win game.
They haven't played the Saints yet.
I know, it's weird.
No. But
Get out of
Buffalo
here.
hasn't played New England yet, and they don't play till week 15 the first time.
I thought they played next week. Who do they play on Thursday night then? Carolina?
Miami. Buffalo and Miami, don't play until weeks 15 and 17.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. There's a weird spot. I feel like people are really digging Atlanta now. Atlanta's going to go on a run. They've turned back into their team from last year, and I think Minnesota's pretty good. Minnesota's a better defense in this game, and their offense, maybe doesn't have the upside that Atlanta's does, but it's been pretty fucking good all year. And
I like when dome teams go on the road to other domes. I think that helps them. I just think the Vikings are a better team, and so I get that Vegas thinks they're exactly alike, and it's dangerous to bet against the Falcons when they're playing well. But I think the Vikings defense has enough to slow them down, and I think the Vikings. I guess I think they're going to win if they're going to cover. But give me the +3. But it won't be a game I would bet or play.
I'm taking the +3 as well, but two things really need to break for Minnesota in this game in order for it to work for them. Xavier Rhodes needs to actually show up this week, unlike he did last Thursday when Marvin Jones stomped all over him, and he needs to limit Julio Jones. He doesn't need to shut down Julio Jones. He just needs to limit Julio Jones. And on the other side of the ball, Atlanta does a very poor job of defending pass-catching running backs. This could be a spot for Jarek to get into the open field and just go crazy. This kind of needs to be... Thielen and Diggs need to show up and do their thing. Kyle Rudolph needs to do his thing. Keenum can't be bad, but Jarek needs to get involved in this game and make a big play or two, and I think Minnesota wins. And I think that happens, so I'm taking Minnesota.
Sweep.
Yeah, sweep across the board. Coin with us on Minnesota as well. So take Atlanta is probably the move. New England at Buffalo, +9. Buffalo at home. People are digging the good vibes of the Bills right now. Bills being scrappy. Everyone loves Tyrod again. They weren't going to win the Chargers game anyway, and so who cares about Andrew Cust, #Custy, Nate Peterson. New England's going to fucking roll the Bills here. Roll them!
I'm not taking Buffalo, although I'm not as confident in picking the Patriots as I was a week ago versus the Dolphins.
This is a backdoor cover if they cover, and I just don't see it. Like, what do the Bills do better than the Patriots? Nothing. Not a thing. Even on defense, New England's now better.
Yeah, I agree. New England's risk or stumble in division is coming next week, not this week. I think that the Patriots will...
Who do they play? Wait, who do they play next week?
They're at the Dolphins. Where
I thought they were at the Jets.
Where Brady, there's probably, other than maybe Denver, there might not be another stadium in the league where Brady has struggled more and plays worse than Miami.
It looks like a new stadium. It'll feel like he's in a new building.
I just think next week at home on Monday night, I think the Dolphins will probably cover.
We gotta watch that on Monday night.
Oh yeah, that's our Monday nighter next week. But back to this game. Yeah, this Buffalo team is absolutely no good. They won last week. Good for them. I think the Patriots will eat them up and spit them out. And of course, we'll tease the Patriots down to 2.5 in this 6.5 point teaser.
What a great win for the Buffalo Bills last week.
Are you staying with the Bills here?
Do
the Bills have tricky Bills magic going on that they're going to make the playoffs?
I hope not, and I'll take New England.
When was the last time New England didn't cover one of these big spreads? They cover every week.
Yeah. They didn't cover against the Jets.
That's true. Was that the last time they didn't cover a game?
I don't want to lament it, but it was like a real Cheswardo cover versus the Chargers.
But they still did cover.
Yes.
And I love the Chargers that week, but they covered that game too.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the Jets were the last time they didn't cover, and that was on the 15th of October.
You know who the Bills are going to have a lot of trouble with this week? Besides everyone?
Gronk?
Well, yeah, but outside
from Buffalo, man.
And he
always goes off.
Yeah, he lights up the Bills every single time. I think Dion Lewis is going to just smash the Bills' run D. For whatever reason, Kareem Hunt had his soul sucked out of him. I guess the Ander curse works in very similar ways to Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat.
I should have said I had that written down here. I think Hunt is going to score maybe at least 1 and probably 2 touchdowns against the Jets this week. That's a hot take.
Poor Kareem Hunt. He's going to break his leg or something like that. Actually, at this point, he's so Andrew cursed, he won't even get hurt. He'll end up with 20 carries for 3 yards or something like that.
I hope the Jets put on a show.
The Jets just go win by 50?
We didn't. Well, yeah.
What?
Okay.
Bring it up.
I'm just going to say the Chiefs, after this game, they have back-to-back games against the Raiders and Chargers, who are both 1 game behind them.
And the Raiders are terrible.
So this game is huge. I mean, the Chiefs are so bad, you can't really call it a look-ahead game, but their season will be decided in the 2 following weeks.
All right, so round in New England for us, the coin does like Buffalo and the +9. San Francisco at Chicago, we get Jimmy Garoppolo making his first career start for the Niners on the road against a really good pass rush. San Francisco has a very weak offensive line. Obviously, Trubisky's not all that good, but it's hard to take the Bears seriously as a favorite because they're not very good. But I think their defense can keep how good. I'll throw this to you, Geoff. How good is Jimmy Garoppolo?
I'm not sure, but I still love the acquisition.
Sure.
It's a lottery ticket you buy every time you can buy it.
But we're not worried about that for next year. We're worried about this for Week 13.
For 3 hours on Sunday, I'm still inclined to take the Bears. You mentioned it, though. I need to know. I actually would consider betting the Bears if I see the health on defense of a couple guys that are back. They got absolutely waxed, though, last week.
They did get absolutely waxed, but the big thing was the reason that they got beat by so much is that their offense didn't do anything.
Did you see the guy with the Firefox sign?
No.
There's just a guy in Philly with the logo.
That's good.
The browser logo is amazing.
But Trubisky wasn't able to do anything against the. But I mean, I think the Bears defense had 4 takeaways in that game. They were hurrying Wentz the entire game, and just eventually, when you give them so many opportunities, they're gonna start scoring points. And they had no answer for Zach Ertz last week. Just every time over the middle, just 10 yards. Every time they needed a first down, it was there. It was someone tweeted it out this morning. You know the 3 highest drop rates in the league among receivers?
Like teams or which
or just
quarterbacks
players in
have
the
had
league? Just players in the league, like minimum whatever snaps, highest drop rates.
Hooper has to be one of them.
Got to be on the Giants too, right?
Nope, the top 3 in the league: Matt Breida, Marquise Goodwin, and George Kittle Me Timbers, all on the Niners.
I'm going to take Chicago.
You're going to take the Bears at home?
I don't love it. If the Bears are healthy on defense, I'd actually want to bet them.
I feel like a bet on San Francisco in this game is a bet on just Garoppolo's a top 12 quarterback in the league, and he just comes out and beats bad teams.
But like with this personnel around him, with a dumbed down playbook, I mean, he's a top 12 quarterback in the league.
It's just is he a top 12? Like, if you think that he is a top 12 quarterback in the league, I think San Francisco probably wins this game. The problem is San Francisco's defense is still awful. And unlike last week, Trubisky should be able to get a few first downs here.
I guess it still could be a December game in Chicago.
Where Jordan Howard runs the ball 35 times.
With a West Coast team coming into December weather in Chicago. I don't know.
Tim, where are you leaning?
49ers. In part because I really, really, really like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, poor guy.
See, that's a tough part because I really like Jimmy too. Does that mean
listen, there was no one more delighted than me to see the Patriots give away their future and get them out of the division. I was so delighted that they set the next 15 years on fire by getting rid of him. So I really like the guy. I think he's going to do real damage. Is he going to do it this week? Well, the Niners have a lot of problems, and I take that point about going into really cold weather in December seriously. But I can't trust the Bears as a favorite. I can't trust Trubisky as a favorite. I did this a couple of weeks ago, and I got burned by it when I took the Bears to lay those points into the Packers. Once bitten, twice shy. I'm going to take the 49ers.
I'm going to take San Francisco as well. I think Jimmy G is good. I think he comes out,
thing.
and I think he I don't think he rolls, but they can win like 20-17.
I do really like Garoppolo, and I'd like to see him play his ass off. And he's the most handsome guy in any room that he's in.
Well, what if he's playing at the Masters with Adam Scott?
I think he might be beating Scott.
I don't know about that. Scott's Australian too, so that helps. That goes a long way.
Scott rocks that Burberry sponsorship sometimes too. So I feel like a lot of money on the 49ers this week are people that have always believed in Jimmy Garoppolo,
which we really have no reason to do,
right? I bet there's a lot of Patriots fans that now like him because he's in the NFC West, and they got no reason to be bitter about anything.
Hey, and Tom Brady's from that area.
I'm just saying, I feel like there's a lot of just blind Garoppolo money this week that I'm not even arguing against. I just believe in that being a reality as it pertains to this game's betting angle.
All right, last game of the early slate: Tampa Bay at Green Bay. I got Green Bay by a point. Some places it's a pick 'em. Is this the first game all year? Because at least the Browns are laughably bad, and they just do stupid stuff all the time, so it's kind of entertaining. Is this the worst game of the year?
Didn't
the
Niners play the Giants 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I guess so.
If you're making me think about it.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Broncos is no ball.
Yeah, but at least Von Miller's in that game.
It's true.
Jameis is going to be back for Tampa.
There's still 7 combined wins in that game.
In what?
The Dolphin-Bronco game.
No, there's a lot of combined wins in this game. There's more in this game. There's 10. Right. Wait, what's Green Bay's record? 5-6?
I don't think Hundley can do it 2 weeks in a row. I don't have a strong lean to this game. I'll bet Tampa, which is probably a horrible look. Getting a point going into Lambeau, but I've been pretty consistent with these short road teams, and that's either going to make me or burn me, it seems.
I'm going to roll with Tampa. I don't love the fact that Jameis is dealing with a shoulder injury, and he's going to start. That kind of terrifies me. It looks like there's probably not going to be Doug Martin in this game either with a concussion, so they're back to Jaquiz Rogers and Charles Sims and all those duds. On the other side, Aaron Jones is practicing again right now for the Packers, but he's unlikely to play. Still no Ty Montgomery. So on DraftKings, fire up some Jamal Williams action. Get him in the lineup. But I don't know, I'm kind of with you. Hundley doesn't do it 2 weeks in a row, and I'm just praying to God the Packers continue to lose so they do not get flexed into that stupid Sunday night game in Week 17. So I will just bet against them every week and hope that works out and just try to double down. A double win for me.
I don't think you need to worry.
Yeah, but Tim said I didn't need to worry, so now I'm worried.
Yeah,
Chargers Raiders for the division, Week 17.
That would be optimal scenarios. That means the Jets have to win this week.
Jags Titans, I think, is that weekend too. which I think would probably be their flex as well, perhaps.
I think anytime they can look to flex Green Bay into a primetime game, they're going to do it over Jacksonville.
This isn't Green. This is Hunley's Packers. I get it. It's easy TV, but no. Week 17.
And we talked about...
Hold on. Week 17, that Sunday night game, it's playoff implication only. Only.
Yeah,
they're not putting in a market.
Yeah, but after those two after the three NFC South teams beat up on each other, one of those teams is probably done. Seattle, it's looking kind of iffy. I'm not going to lie to you. Lions, Packers, should things break right, could be you win and you're in. It could be. I'm not saying it's likely, but that's what I'm scared.
So that's why you're leaning Tampa?
Yeah. Just want them out of the way because Rodgers is probably going to come back in Week 15.
That's what they're saying.
And they play Carolina Week 15 too. So they could just knock out the Panthers.
Oh, God.
It's all happening, and I don't want it to happen. The coin's taking Green Bay. Tim, who are you taking?
Packers. The Buccaneers have one of the absolute worst defenses in the NFL. The Steelers actually have a pretty decent defense. If Hundley can carve them up, he should have no trouble carving up Tampa. I think the Packers win it pretty comfortably.
I don't know if Hundley exactly carved up the Steelers. There was like one missed tackle that Jamal Williams took to the house and one blown coverage on Devontae Adams. That was basically all their points.
Well, you don't know that because you were too busy watching the Grey Cup while that game was on. But those of us who watched the NFL game, we saw the outcome.
That best game of the day.
I was going to say, that really doesn't sound like me. That sounds more like you, Tim.
No, listen, I'm not the one getting congratulations on Twitter for the success of Toronto sports teams. You are, including the Argonauts.
Yes,
I love that.
Shout out to Hathaway on that one.
No one.
He knows how much I despise the CFL and soccer.
Hey, man, City of Champs, BMO Field.
They're going to fucking lose. I hope they lose.
I'm with you.
I wanted the Argos to lose, too, but Tim Ander cursed the Calgary Stampeders.
I used to work for the Argos, so I got a soft spot there.
Do you get a ring?
They never won a championship when I was there.
No, do you get one retroactively now? Like, you used to work for the team. Do you get a Grey Cup ring?
No, absolutely not. We met your quota on the early games for time, so
That's
I'm actually
true.
pretty surprised we
also,
were able to.
I want to extend a warm congratulations to Geoff's Western Mustangs winning the Canadian National
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
National Championship. Your alma mater. Congratulations.
That's right.
Tim thinks that the system was rigged against our alma mater.
Well, things were rigged against us, but Western crushed Acadia instead of SMU. That's probably for the best that we didn't have to play Western. That Western team, I watched a little bit of that's the best Canadian college football team I think may have ever been assembled.
And I sent out a congratulatory tweet, and the university and the Alumni Association followed me, and if they took one look at my transcript, they'd probably unfollow me. I'll just leave it at that.
All right, we're at the midway point of the games, which means it's time to take a break and go to Cust Corner.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner,
I think you mean Top Cat Corner, but sure.
Is that what you can call the award?
What? The
top prediction of the year? Like the Top Cat Call of the Year?
Top Cast Call of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, one like under the radar Ander curse of the year is when we were on my bachelor party and we went to Top Golf and he used the machine at Top Golf and like shut it down and broke immediately.
And the man said, "I've been working here for years. I've never seen this happen before." I swiped my card and then the system shut down.
And, I love that.
And then one of our friends who was there was too busy like getting into a fight with the staff at Top Golf because he ordered a Red Bull and they opened it for him and then he didn't want to drink it and they were like, "Sir, we've already opened it, you can't return it." And then he like made a scene about it and we had to pretend we weren't with him, but that's a whole different story. What do you got first this week, Tim?
So it seems to me that this is an event that occurred in my vicinity yesterday and it seems very topical with the Christmas shopping season. Yeah, I know, like you were saying to me earlier this week, that like a third of purchases are being done online, but that also means that 67% of purchases are being done by real people in real stores. So,
are you saying that real people do not order things off the internet? It's just bots?
Well, I'm sure there are bots that do order stuff off the internet too. My point being is that 99.9% of us are probably this Christmas going to have to purchase something somewhere at a store.
I really hope I don't. I'm really hoping I don't have to. I have what I think all my Christmas shopping done already, have yet to walk into a store. And I have everything already. It's great.
Okay, well, most people who don't live in big, urbane, elite centers Those of us who are living more authentic experiences have to go to stores and malls. Anyway.
But do you not understand how the interwebs works? You can do this anywhere. That's the whole point.
Would you like to tell this story?
No, but it seems like you've already got your facts twisted. If anything, I should be the one going to stores because I have the better stores around me and more options. But I don't even need to do that because Amazon works for me.
He said your life is like less authentic than his.
Oh, yes.
By the way. I don't know
Tim, who lives in delusion, lives in his own authentic reality.
I'm out and amongst the people. I see the people every day. I don't cloister myself off. And so anyway, I was on a mall walk yesterday, and I was making a purchase, and the cashier line up next to me, I saw it was this time of year things are starting to get busy, and there were 2 lines at 2 cashiers, and both lines had, I want to know, 7, 8, 9 people in per. And so we're in line, and in the line, so I'm in the left-hand line. On the right-hand line, there is a lady 2 or 3 people from the cashier away who turns around to the person behind her and says, "Hey, can you hold my spot for a moment? I forgot something." And she left. And then she didn't come back until it was exactly her turn to pay. And it occurred to me, you're not allowed to do that. You can't get out of line to get something you forgot and then get your spot back. Seems to me, once you're in line, that's it. You're committed. You've made your decision. If you have to leave to get something, whether it be grocery shopping and you're in line, or whether it be at a department store or another type of store, once you've left the line, you can never come back in that spot. Someone can't hold it for you. It's different, I suppose, if you're husband and wife, and the husband stands there while the wife goes. I suppose that's different.
What if it's hold on a second. What if it's a husband and husband or a wife and wife? Would that still count in your books?
Fine. 2 spouses. Fine. My point is that you can't ask some stranger behind you to hold your spot while you go get something you forgot. You forgot. Part of the penalty of forgetting is you have to go back in the line. If there's no one else behind you and you want to let someone cut back in front of you, okay. But you're making a decision that affects not just you, but the person behind them and behind them and behind them and behind them, who may not also allow you to leave the line, to swan about the department store to find the thing that you forgot and then get back and pay. No. Back to the end of the line you go. But then I thought, I wonder if this is the accepted practice of queuing, or whether this is just my proclivity to not let someone get back in line. What do you think?
Okay, so I have actually a pretty concrete stance on this.
All right.
So, because this happens, I think that anyone that's ever gone grocery shopping, this has happened to.
But it's different because you can
put your stuff on the conveyor belt.
On the conveyor, and it's like, oh, I forgot to grab something. What are you gonna make them move the?
I think this is an acceptable practice to do, but the statute of limitations on your spot in line, if you become the next person up, and it's now your turn to pay for everything, you're to the back of the line immediately. But if you can get back before it's your turn to pay, I think you're okay.
I agree with you.
You're in line for concert tickets, and you're waiting for a couple of hours, and you just leave and then come back.
Now you're on a totally different. And they don't even. I'm not even sure they sell concert tickets at box offices anymore.
I'm sure they must.
I don't. I think it's an after the fact thing, but everything's sold out within 5 minutes online.
All right, well then let's use a millennial example. If you were in the line to get a new iPhone X, people are lined up to get one of those. Are you allowed to leave and go to the bathroom and come back and get your spot in line?
But now you're cherry picking examples of grand openings to things, like a one-time event.
Thanks.
This isn't a one-time event.
What about the line
to Sears?
What about the line into Star Wars?
Well, it depends whether you've got your costume, your Darth Maul uniform on, and you're fighting. You got on the line to fight with some Jedi. And then they got back into your spot.
Yeah, can I get out of line to role play?
As long as you're in cosplay, I think I would allow it. No, but seriously, I'm trying to lay down the broad strokes for the people here of what is and what is not acceptable line etiquette as you do your Christmas shopping.
I think that's acceptable.
If I am standing in an 8-person line, and this is a line, and the person in front of me has been enduring this line with me, and they need to step out, I'm with Pat. I'll give them
till they have to pay.
They've got it. We've endured this line together. I get we've suffered. If you got to run to aisle 6 and grab something, I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
I will.
Because I think the department store shopping and grocery shopping would go hand in hand that way. Every once in a while, I'm making let's say I'm making steaks that night. I don't just generally keep barbecue sauce around. I'll forget to get barbecue sauce when I'm at the cashier.
You should keep barbecue
I need to go run and get barbecue sauce. Everyone's like, yeah, all right. Tim's in the back of the line being like, how dare you? I have things to do. I have malls to walk.
I think my inclination would be to say no.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, because you're a jerk.
You're in the same spot. Like, let's say you have to get, like, someone gets out to get something. You're still 4 people away. That person gets out. You're, like, you haven't missed anything, man.
No, but, I mean, then...
It's like having a ghost runner in line.
Here's the
part
thing.
of the experience.
This is a guy with...
in the line the whole time and endure the ennui of standing in line, or, like, flipping through the National Enquirer while you're waiting, or whatever one does. Like,
no one. Look, when you say that everyone's flipping through the National Enquirer waiting in line, I would wager that the people, Tim, probably just look at their phones.
Yeah.
Oh, I like to flip through the magazine.
Yeah, but you're a lunatic, so. And you're not indicative of a normal person experience. Only insane people.
This is
act
also
like you.
what I think went over our heads a bit. The guy who goes on mall walks is complaining about an extra 120 seconds in a line.
But
like,
it's
where
also
there's that
kind of
mother
fun.
who's got to go pick up her kids or drop it off or something. You know, you are literally just there on a mall walk. You don't got 120 seconds to spare.
Expediency is not a principle. It's a question of what's the right thing to do.
The right thing to do is the guy on the mall walk shouldn't give a shit. That's honestly the right thing to do. The guy with nowhere to go shouldn't care.
Let's say I don't care, but there are 3 other people behind me who may also have very busy, things to do and have to get out and go. I mean, is it an ethical principle that we should allow anyone who thinks that they've got to get out of line to get something to come back in? Would we allow everyone to do that?
What
about
airport?
We have to be sort of deontological about it. We have to have a hard and fast stance and not allow the circumstance of, this person's in a rush. Well, that kind of doesn't matter when it comes to etiquette. Like, it's what's the right or wrong thing to do? I'm torn on this. I can understand why you want to let someone else in front of you, but then you're making a decision for the people behind you that they're also okay with this person getting out of line.
Hold the airport thought for a second. One thing is that you're not letting someone in front of you. They were in front of you, for one thing.
But then they left.
Sure, and you've agreed to hold their place in line. People aren't getting mad at that besides you. I have more line problems now that I've been thinking about it that I would like to bring up that I have a bigger problem with. But let me ask you, because you can't really tell if these people have, you don't have things to do, you don't know if people in line have things to do or not. What time were you in line at?
This was at like 1:30.
On when?
Yesterday afternoon.
Okay, so everyone in that line had nowhere to go.
You don't know that. You don't know that. People work shift work. Like people are doing things.
Okay.
Maybe
Airports.
Maybe they're in line to get something before their quote-unquote lunchtime lift. I don't know.
You know how you can get around all these line problems, Tim? Order off Amazon.
In an airport, I don't want to give an inch. Like, I'll almost play the role of Lorenzo Neal, like with my wife. Like, I'm fullback, you just follow me.
Yeah, in crowded areas, but again, I feel like an airport is a completely different situation.
Yes, it's not 1:30 at the mall.
Yeah.
I get that.
To get on the train or something, like in transit.
Well, people, at least in New York, was weirdly like, people always rag on like the New York subway system. I know it has significant problems, but at least people know how to use the subway in New York and most of these cities that I go to. Like there is hey, this is the getting off part, this is the getting on part. People are very good about that because it speeds it up for everybody if people aren't just walking into each other. Yeah. Toronto, the nut low. People are just out of their element trying to get on and off the subway. It's ridiculous.
It's the war of all against all.
I'll give you that. Just on the topic of etiquette, I don't know why we're here, and I'll be quick. The thing that I think needs to change the most is when a plane lands, and this barely affects me.
When people stand up at the back and like start hustling about,
that's
like, where are you going?
When people applaud,
anyone who has a connector flight should be allowed off that freaking plane first.
Agreed.
Every single time. I've had one recently, and to think that's like my biggest beef. The airline should just like, if you have, let's let everyone with a connector off this sucker first.
You know why it wouldn't work? Because
people lie?
No, because the idiot in people, I wasn't even considering that, but like the idiot in row 28 who's like the first person to stand up and like getting his gear out of the top, you can't run off the plane. Right. You have to wait for everyone in front of you to get out, but that idiot's always going to stand up and like clog everything up.
I just can't, and I don't really have I can't imagine my mental psyche like needing to catch another plane stuck in that situation.
Usually, sometimes what they'll do is that if the plane has come in late, they will do that.
They should always do that.
Go Go ahead.
That is bad. Not as bad as people who eat on the plane, like fast food, but that is real annoying.
I hate that too.
I just don't like eating on planes.
Me neither.
I try to go out of my way not to eat at airports because nothing you get at an airport is going to be good for you.
That's not true. There's a bunch of chilies on the go.
That's not good for you, Tim.
I'd say nowadays that's might be like a little different than
there are some places like you can go to like a Freshie in the airport. Like that's not terrible. Tim's Subway, you can not ingest all the calories in the world, just some rubber chicken. That would be fine, I guess. My line thing. This happened to me the other day. Just running out. So there was 3 of us in line, and there's only one like counter open. And then all of a sudden, another one opens up, and the guy tells the person behind me in line to go to the front. And I just said, no.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to go to the front just because she was a hot chick. I see what the guy was trying to do. But I was like, no, I'm first here.
It should always be.
And then she gives me grief. She's like, you could do that in a less sassy way. I was like, yes, but I could do it in a more sassy way, too. And I could be a lot meaner about it. I know you, so I am very willing to get into it with the public.
She's as someone who knows you,
and I can't do that around my wife because then she gets all embarrassed, then she gets mad at me. But if it's at me out by myself in the public, I will just start lipping. I have it all pent up in me. I'm ready to fire on people.
Anyone that knows you would know how politely you handled that. Actually,
yes, I'm actually quite surprised.
Yeah,
I would not have been pleased. I would have said something too.
But isn't that, you're right, that might be the most egregious line faux pas in the game, is when you're in line and they open a new register and the people at the back of the line think that they should be first in the new...
But this is all...
Those people should be... That's guts to go to Guantanamo Bay situation.
But here's the thing, though, because it works both ways, because I put myself into both situations. The person who's running the line doesn't give a shit. The cashier.
It's the same 4 people. Yeah.
The person at the back is the same as the person in the front. It doesn't matter. Now, if I'm the person at the back, unlike Tim, my time very valuable. I'm the person who will make the sprint.
It's first come, first serve.
Yeah, if people don't want to react to it, however, if the person who's at the front does like say something, that person gets to go first. Like that's not the problem. But I will make the book line to get to the front. But it's incumbent on the person up front to say something about it.
Again, my time is valuable. I don't understand that needless dig at me, but anyway.
No, it wasn't. Listen, you're just there on a mall walk. That's all.
Yeah, who's to say my mall walk's not as important as other people's time?
The fact that you're on a mall walk?
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
All right, that, folks, was Cust Corner. Let's get back to the games. And it's a fun one to start it off because it's Cleveland at the Los Angeles Chargers. You ready? You ready for to be disappointed, Geoff? Minus 13.5.
I am. If they lose this one, because they lost to Cleveland last year.
On a Saturday, though. Hugh Jackson still never won on a Sunday.
I don't think they can lose this game. I'm excited to do this show in a week. I'm excited. Oh, I don't think they can lose this game. Causes him to laugh.
That's a scary thing to say.
They're 2 touchdown favorite.
The coin likes Cleveland.
I don't think they can lose this game.
Famous last words, Geoff.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll cover. I don't think they can lose. I'm really looking forward to getting back to 500. And I'm looking forward to next week's show when we prognosticate the final 4 weeks across the AFC picture.
Tim, where are you going here?
Yeah, I'm too nervous to be laying 13.5 with the Chargers. I'm sorry. I think that they probably will win, although taking the plus 625 with the Browns isn't the world's worst money line bet, to be perfectly frank with you. I do think that the Chargers will win a very close one, like within like a last possession sort of game. So I will take the Brownies to cover the number.
Why aren't you teasing them if it's so close?
Yeah, why don't you just tease them up to 20?
I don't feel good about teasing against the Chargers. I've been told they're the best team to tease, but I don't want to.
No. This is a different. This is a completely different dynamic. This is like.
Honestly, I don't know what to make of this game, so I want no part of it.
I'll say this. Something that is tragic and worries me a bit is Pro Football Focus's #1 ranked corner in football.
Casey
Hayward. His brother died, unfortunately, this week in a car accident.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has gone home. as any organization should. They said, take all the time you need with your family. I don't know that we will know until Saturday if he's going to play. He's played at such a high level, I wouldn't be worried if he just had to strap him on come Saturday.
He's got to deal with Josh Gordon making his return.
Well, that's a question mark, but here's the thing. Watching the game film or the sound effects of the Cleveland-Jacksonville game a couple weeks ago, Jacksonville put A.J. Boye on Duke Johnson.
That's interesting.
And, yeah, a lot of the mic'd up was like the coach was coming to Duke. Like, that's respect. Which it is. I mean, it's a clear...
Yeah, I'm sure Duke Johnson didn't appreciate it.
Yeah,
but put me up against some loser, I'll run right by him.
It's a clear sign of respect. And I think the Chargers have given up the most or second most passes to running backs this year. I think you guys saw that Patriot game firsthand. I think 80% of them might have come just in that game alone where they got shredded underneath to running backs. So,
but now that Perriman's back, does that help that?
I would hope. And a lot of these DVOA Charger numbers, I'm just curious what the numbers are.
Well, they're skewed.
Perriman's been back.
I mean,
I think it's a completely different defense.
And also, one of the best ways, I mean, if you look at like weighted DVOA, it kind of puts more respect towards what has happened.
Like what you guys do at Fantasy National.
Yeah. Yeah,
I want to know, like, give me a...
Yeah, if you look at, like, the rolling numbers, the Chargers keep getting progressively better and better and better on the defensive side of the ball. But, I mean, they're not ever going to be number one because they weren't so hot at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and they had the 31st ranked run defense for a period of 6 to 7 weeks.
I think they covered. Big favorites have been covering game after game after game like the last 3 weeks.
They've got the extra rush. The rest, I mean, having played the Thanksgiving, I don't know if there's any position between their playoff trying to battle and the fact that this team lost to this team last year. I don't know if there's any room for a look-ahead game, but I guess it is always possible. Everyone has sort of been on key. So
me and you are on the Chargers?
I'm not picking the Chargers here.
Tim in the corner on Cleveland. Carolina at New Orleans. We saw this game earlier in the year at Carolina, and the Saints just blew the doors off of them. The run defense, now that Kuechly's back to complete full health, is a lot better now for Carolina, one of the best run-stopping units in the league. I'm going to be curious to see how Breeze approaches this game, and I think Marshawn Lattimore returned to practice yesterday. No word on whether he's going to play or not, but he might. And, I mean, if you put a shutdown corner on Devin Funchess, Cam completes like 3 passes last week, because they were all the Funches. Greg Olson's looking iffy. Carolina's kind of banged up. I think 4.5 is kind of a bigger number, and the defensive line of New Orleans should be able to rattle Cam because the offensive line in Carolina is not very good. However, the biggest stat that I saw when I was watching that stupid Carolina Jets game, since Kelvin Benjamin was drafted and joined Carolina, to this point now that they've traded him, do you know what Carolina's record is in games where Kelvin Benjamin doesn't play?
Well, they went to the Super Bowl without him, so it is probably... And they were a mid-level team last year, so it's probably...
And they haven't had him for stretches of this year, too.
22 and 10?
18-1.
Well, I guessed a lot more games than existed because he missed a whole year.
Isn't that crazy?
Out of this world. Which one of these teams? I said it earlier. Who's playing Atlanta on Thursday? Did I remember
It's
that?
New Orleans.
Saints.
It's a look ahead. I'll take Carolina.
I'll take Carolina 4.5. It just seems like a couple extra points. But this Saints team, if they're getting healthy, because I think some of the guys are back.
Listen, we say this with the Saints every week. If they win by 30 points, no one's going to be super stunned. But I feel like they may have peaked early.
Maybe. But this is what I also want to say about the New Orleans Saints in a big picture way. Who are these elite teams in the NFC? The Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz.
That's it, though.
Okay, fine.
That's it.
The really good teams then. Carson Wentz never played a playoff game.
Jared Goff.
Keenum never played a playoff game. Jared Goff never played a playoff game.
Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl.
Matt
Ryan went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so it's
Aaron Rodgers could be back, and they could be in the race.
Yeah, so
Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winner.
That's what I'm saying. So underneath those 3 teams are a handful of teams, including every team in that South with Pro Bowl, All-Pro,
and Super Bowl experience.
Ceiling quarterbacks. Should be interesting. But for this week alone, I'll take Carolina.
I'll take Carolina as well. Tim?
Yeah, I like everything that was just said. And I feel like the Saints, we're underplaying how unimpressive the Saints looked last week against the Rams. I just thought that was a team that was flat in a game that, even without Marcus Lattimore, that's a game that the Saints should have been able to score some points in, and they just couldn't. And I found that disheartening. So, yeah, we'll take the Panthers in the game. I think the Panthers probably win.
But I think we sort of alluded to it, at least me and you did last week.
Where they have all these division games coming up, that it's not the end of the world for them.
Yeah, this was sort of like the spot for the Rams and what have you. But
the Rams coming off, getting beat down by the Vikings. Like, it was a really good spot for the Rams, I agree. Let's go to the Rams. Round of Carolina for everyone, even the coin, by the way.
That's 3 games this week so far.
Rams are at Arizona. It's +7. Last time we saw these two teams play, I believe the Rams won by 970 points in London.
Yeah, 33-0 if memory serves.
And now there's no Carson Palmer. It's Blaine Gabbert, who's playing like all right. No Kerwin Williams, my main fantasy sleeper. DJ Foster, I feel like, gets involved here. Patrick Peterson shuts down Sammy Watkins. The Rams run train on the rest of the way. I think the Rams cover easily.
Big. And the only thing to even remotely skew me to the other side is a Ram look ahead.
How about this? Here's a thing to skew you to back to the Rams. Tim loves the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals win this game. To be honest with you. I mean, the Cardinals looked really good last week against Jacksonville, a team that everyone seems to love. I don't love Jacksonville. I think that's a profoundly flawed team, but everyone in the world seems to love that team, and the Cardinals defeated them in regulation. The Cards are have always been a pretty decent home team. They're at home. The Rams it's a divisional game where the Rams are laying 7 into a divisional opponent who isn't mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. You know, they are in the same spot that the Skins and the Cowboys are, that if they were to take care of business the way through, they would qualify for the playoffs. So their season isn't over yet. This is a desperation game for the Cards. 7 is too many. I like the Cards to cover, and I think they'll win. But even if they don't, I think they'll cover.
Okay.
So you think they're going to win or cover, but they're not a part of your free money tease?
There it is.
No, I don't think that strongly with them.
Just the way the numbers are working, I wanted something else.
Okay. And the Browns, who are going to win or lose on the final drive?
I think the Cardinals are going to beat the Rams at home, but I can't tease them up to 13.5. That would be just ludicrous.
He also predicted.
I think something's going to happen doesn't mean I think it's going to. It doesn't mean that my confidence in that actually happening is high.
It was like he also told me on Monday that Sammy Watkins is going to go off in this game. I gave him the over/under of 6.5 fantasy points. I would take the under. He wouldn't bet me.
I saw you cut that video.
Really high-scoring game. Like I like over a lot in this game too.
I noticed in that video you were just convincing, and Tim couldn't have any convincing statements.
I feel like that's my whole thing, though. Whether I'm right or wrong, I sound convincing when I speak. That's why people watch the Fat Mayo Experience.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's actually my whole game, not yours.
Oh yeah. If there's one thing you sound, it's not crazy and super convincing.
I sell things with I've been congratulated in the past with my conviction.
You're only congratulated by guys that don't know how crazy you are.
Or people who bet against you are like, thanks for cursing whoever, Tim.
I still remember Tim puts out these 4 hockey picks one night. Some guy is it's just a lock, and some guy 4 hours later is thanking Tim for his lock.
Tim hasn't watched a second of hockey, putting out free money.
I know, the guy literally said he put his paycheck on it or something.
He did. No, he told me he put his rent for the month
rent.
on it because I said it was free money.
Because so you gotta be whatever. It is what it is. That's Twitter.
Way, so.
He won.
Giants at Oakland. Oakland is -9. So we're in a situation where Geno picks, Tim's buddy, starting for the Giants. Derek Carr will be under center for the Raiders, but there's not going to be Michael Crabtree. His suspension's been cut to a game now from 2, and Cooper does not look like he's going to play. So you have Lynch in the backfield, and there's no Janoris Jenkins for the Giants because he's done for the season. So you have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. You have Seth Roberts, Cordero Patterson, and Johnny Holton in the receiving core, along with Jared Too Many Cooks at tight end. The Giants should cover this game. They really should. 9's too many. Because their defense is still way better than the Raiders' defense. The Raiders suck. It's not to say the Giants are any good, but their defense is still all right. Maybe not having Jenkins is just so detrimental they can't do anything, but I think they can keep this within a touchdown.
No chance.
I like to hear that.
No earthly chance. He hasn't played in a couple of years, so people have forgotten. But Geno Smith is a special type of player.
I was once told Geno Smith was the future, Geoff. I heard that from a reliable source who may or may not be insane. Probably insane.
Listen, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and he has given us all this gift of an opportunity to bet against Geno Smith one more time in our lives. I will not be passing up this opportunity. He is a train wreck. The last time Geno Smith played in a full game that I can recall was in 2015 when he took over for Fitzpatrick against the Raiders. And that Raiders team in 2015 wasn't that great. It was like an 8-8 team. Not dissimilar from this Raiders team. Middle of the pack team. Geno Smith couldn't stop throwing interceptions all game long. The Jets missed the playoffs that year at 10-6 because a middling Raiders team beat them because Geno Smith threw them out of a football game. Geno Smith is going to absolutely humiliate himself in this game. I don't know that the Giants will even score a point. I think the Raiders win it pretty comfortably, and I don't think there's an argument to the contrary.
So you're teasing Oakland down to 2?
Oakland's down to -2.5, and Oakland is on the very short list of SUPERLOCKS this week.
I think I know what game throws Tim's free money teaser out of whack. Probably Miami as well, but this one.
I don't have any kind of confidence, but I will take the Raiders.
The Raiders' defense doesn't turn anyone over. Now, granted, there's a reason he's called Geno Picks. He just kind of gives them up for free. But I think they had their first pick of the season last week, and it was on like a double tip ball in the end zone.
I mean, again, the Raiders have their biggest game of the season on deck, playing at Arrowhead.
How much would it encourage you if the Giants went in to Oakland and beat the Raiders this week?
Yeah, I would like that, but the Raiders don't concern me one bit.
And let's be real here. With the way that Eli's played this season, how much worse could Geno be?
Much, much worse. Unbelievably worse. Unfathomably worse.
Here's the thing. Bad teams going to the backup. It's just a bad scene. Just a bad scene.
I'll be on Giants Island. I'm in. Put this in the Super 7. Start counting my money right now. Because I can't put my Super Lock in.
I'll say this. This is zero confidence, but gun to the head, I'll lay the 9.
Philly.
What did it move with the Eli?
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't even see it.
8.5. I think it was a flat 7, so maybe it moved 2 points.
Okay, so off, but it's like off a key number 2.
Here's the thing. Here's a fun fact about Oakland. They fucking suck.
They do.
So, and they're still dealing with the preseason Andrew curse, except for that 1 week when they got uncursed and beat the Chiefs.
Their defense looked better with my guy Pagano calling the scheme last week versus Denver.
Against Paxton Lynch. Yeah.
So this is just
many compilations there. Sunday nighter, Philly at Seattle. Now there's a Sunday night game, and there's a 100% chance it won't be as good as last week's Sunday night game.
The Grey Cup?
No.
Seattle. Remember, not too long ago, there was this thing that like the league took away prime time at home from Seattle because they were just too dominant.
Well, now they're 6-point underdogs at home.
Yeah, and they were field goal underdogs a couple weeks ago to the Falcons.
No, they were field goal favorites.
Sorry. No, by the time...
By kickoff, it went down to, like, pick 'em.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. You're right. I don't know. I think this can get higher, and if it gets to 6.5, I consider buying the half with Seattle from a betting perspective. Real money.
Here's the whole thing. I think logically, Seattle makes a lot of sense here, getting the 6 points. But, like, there's no one in the secondary anymore. Now Cam Chancellor's out for the season. Like... Philly has steamrolled everyone for the past 8 weeks. Why aren't they going to steamroll what looks to be a beaten down defense? Why wouldn't they?
Spot. That's all I got for Seattle is a spot game.
This is probably Philly's hardest competition they've had all year too. Philly's been rolling teams, but they haven't been playing very good teams.
I guess Philly hasn't played Baltimore or Tennessee, eh?
Well, no. I mean, Baltimore's the best team in the league, so that would be tough if they played them. But
AFC Championship, Ravens at Titans.
I'm not even going to dignify that.
The coin likes Seattle.
Seattle's got to be the play here. Just too many points for this Seahawks team with Russell Wilson healthy at home. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I think the Seahawks keep it super close. It'll be not dissimilar from that Atlanta game maybe, where it's a field goal game in either direction, but it's already moved down to 5.5. I suspect by kickoff actually it's going to move the other direction. The sharp money's all going to be on Seattle, not on Philly. And so I would, if you like Seattle, I actually would recommend grabbing it now because I think it's moving in Philly against Philly.
That was going to be my question. Where do we think this moves? And that kind of answered
move towards
it.
Seattle.
I think the public will jump on Seattle too. They'll see Seattle at home. It's still Seattle. They're getting 6 points. They're getting 5 points. They're getting 4 points. You know, Philly hasn't been tested. There's going to be those narratives. People will bet Seattle after they lose all their money on Sunday morning, and then people will just come in, and Carson Wentz is good for, let's say, 21 points in this game. And that could be good enough to cover because the defensive line and the way that Philly can attack the quarterback is just such a terrible matchup for Seattle's offensive line.
Does that, like...
You're just banking on Russell Wilson to do everything, and the team on the other end of the field could be the best team in football.
I said this last week. They feel like the Packers with Rodgers. The Seahawks.
They turned the ball over 3 or 4 times last week and scored 31 points.
Do they? But I just mean like it's all like Wilson just feels like Roger. Like the defense is now beaten down.
I was talking about Philly. Yeah, Wilson's. You're getting the Rodgers vibe from him, but he's not as good as Aaron Rodgers.
No, probably not. But it's almost like there's still people that are like, I'll take that. Like he's an easy guy to go to the window and take points back with.
And people are far more familiar with the Seattle team than they are with this new Philly team. They really are. And
like I said, it's not a narrative that Philadelphia hasn't been tested. Philadelphia hasn't been tested. Now, this is a night where if Carson Wentz plays greatly, this is a night Wentz can lock up the MVP, right? If he destroys Seattle on Sunday night,
no one's locking up the MVP till like week 16, week 17.
No, these things get decided in big games like this. Philly, I think, only plays at night one more time against the Eagles at the end. Against the Raiders.
Tim said Alex Smith is the MVP after week 3. Like, lock it in. It would be impossible for him to lose.
Late in the year, people start making their decisions late in the year, and then it can't be. They're becoming immovable.
I mean, you could just say you don't know anything about this and move on from it.
Well, but that would be disingenuous because I do know about this.
I don't know. You did say lock in Alex Smith. Minus 200. Best bet of the year.
I believe I said quite the opposite. I said that's ridiculous that he's the favorite. He's not going to win.
No. That is exactly the opposite of what you said. But thank you for not having a memory.
I have a great memory.
Apparently not. Who are you taking?
I think it's pretty obvious. I'm taking the Hawks.
I don't like it, but here I am with Tim again. Give me the Hawks.
I'm telling you, people are just going to beat Seattle at home. Russell Wilson. No, maybe their defense can cobble it together, and they forget Philly just steamrolls people.
It's what they do.
It's what they do. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati on Monday night. This is an interesting spot. So Cincinnati is a 5-point dog at home. Pittsburgh coming off a game they really should have lost at home against a really terrible Packers team. So now we've seen them alternate week to week to week to week. So Thursday night, they come out and they absolutely plow the Titans. And then they get into a primetime game with the Packers, play down to their level. Their defense looks a bit wonky. And all of a sudden they have to win by 3 and they don't cover the 14. So is this, we go back to Pittsburgh looks really good again week, and their defense shows up? Is Joe Hayden better than I'm giving him credit for? And he hasn't been around, and their defense hasn't been good without him because he's been like garbage for 3 years, and now he's good again? He just like playing on the Browns sucked the life out of him? He just didn't care anymore? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but I have a hard time. But like, I was on Cincinnati earlier in the year when this game was at Pittsburgh because I always thought these teams play close games, but I am not convinced that just because the Bengals, beat the Browns by 10, that they're a good team all of a sudden. Like, they're not good. It's a problem.
The Pittsburgh yo-yo and trying to figure out what effort they bring.
Yo-yo.
And the major in psychology that sometimes it takes to do it. You went back to the Titan game. I'll go back to the week before when they were, double digits against the Colts and they had to kick a last-second field goal. I think we all blindly thought, oh, it's like Thanksgiving weekend. It's prime time. They'll lay the wood to the Packers. Probably not. I think you got to keep betting black on that roulette wheel. They despise the Bengals. It's a Monday Night Football game. Supreme motivation. I don't know. Give me the Steelers. I don't know how to guess which sort of effort you're going to get, but I know
they're the better team.
I know they hate the Bengals, so instead of lollygagging on a holiday weekend like they did versus the Packers, I think we see the wood. That's just, I don't know. I'm trying to play psychologist. That's all I'm trying to do when it comes to Steelers. Are you getting Rory shooting a 62 or Rory shooting a 78? I say it all the time, but that's what I'm trying to do.
Tim?
I love the Bengals in this spot. I think they're going to win the game outright. This is a team desperate. The Bengals are one of the very few teams also in that playoff hunt. Pittsburgh doesn't need this game. Pittsburgh plays New England head-to-head in a couple weeks' time. That will decide who has home field in the playoffs. This game, in that sense, is not a do or die. The Bengals' season is on the line in this game. The Bengals cannot afford to lose probably another game. Maybe they could lose one more game. That would be max. At home on Monday night, backs against the wall against the Steelers team you can't figure out. A Bengals team that hates the Steelers as much as the Steelers hate the Bengals. A.J. Green starting to play some good football. Andy Dalton quietly is having an excellent season. People don't know this.
Excellent.
You look at his numbers. He's actually playing really good football this year. I think the Bengals knock him out. And they're the last part of the teaser. We'll tease them up to plus 11.5. But I would recommend grabbing the plus 200 money line.
Okay, here's my question. I got a real beef now with him. Every single team competing in the AFC
is better than the Chargers.
He likes with flying colors this week, but the Chargers need to be on outright loss watch as 2-touchdown favorites. Every team. Every team.
I'm sorry.
The Ravens, the Chiefs, the Titans. Who go through it?
The Bengals.
The Bengals. The
Raiders.
Everyone.
Except for the Chargers.
He thinks it's and he uses their playoff race positioning as part of the case for them, but the Chargers playing the Browns. Watch the fuck out.
Well,
come on, man. What are you trolling me? Like, I've been paying attention this whole show.
None of these teams, it's not trolling when it's true. None of these teams are laying 13.5 into the team who last won a game against your team. Like, there are exigent circumstances why the Browns are a tough team to expect them to lay.
Yeah, they've
I also said I thought the Steelers would win. The Chargers would win.
In a last-second drive.
Yeah,
and none of these other teams are going to have any worries whatsoever. Baltimore's just going to steamroll. Like, they're awesome. They're better than the Patriots.
Titans best team in the AFC. Kansas City losing to the Bills and the Giants. The Jets, who play everyone tough at home,
wipe them out by 30.
Big game. I don't know. I'm taking it personally, Tim.
Well, I mean, I apologize that my belief in some of these teams and my circumspection about a Chargers team that have lost some terrible games against some terrible. Sorry, I'm not all in. I haven't drank the Kool-Aid yet.
This is good news for the Chargers, though.
It probably is. He said we quit, just like he said that
the Jets are probably going to have already quit during the week, so they're going to be quit for this game coming up.
Yeah. Back to the Bengals, though. I think the Bengals do have something going for them because Tiger's back.
Is that a thing?
Oh, Tigers.
That's the narrative.
Cats,
but Tim also hates Tiger.
I guess that'd be a Raider thing because he loves the Raiders. But Tiger's back. Actually took me to the end of the show, but I'm that loser. When you wondered which loser is buying Tiger Woods apparel like last summer.
In 2016?
In 2017, that was me right here. He was wearing this on Monday in his practice round with Reed.
I think it looks better on you.
I doubt it.
All right, those are the games. Pittsburgh for me and Geoff, and the coin, Cincinnati for Tim. SUPERLOCKS, I've already given mine away. Mine is a Thursday nighter. Is Washington -2, and I am leading the SUPERLOCKS for the year. I have a chance to clinch up a winning SUPERLOCK record this week for the year if Washington can come through for me tonight. So -2 for me. Tim, where are you going? You're 6-5 for the year.
With that push last week, it's annoying. I'm torn between the Raiders and the Bengals. I like both teams a lot. But What
about the Ravens? The unstoppable Ravens.
But I did go on an extended rant about this opportunity to bet against Geno Smith. So I must stick to my guns, and we'll take the Oakland Raiders.
It would be horrible to go with Denver, although that is a lean. Push comes to shove. It really worked for me last week because I thought that Bills-Chiefs line was too high based on what the Tyrod Taylor playing versus the Charger. The Taylor playing versus the Charger line was 4.5, and then these 5.5. It's 9.5 versus the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs are 5 points better than the Chargers. I didn't believe it. I thought that line was wrong. And in terms of spread value, I see at least 3.5 points of value in the Colts.
So you're taking the Colts plus 9.5?
I'm taking the Colts plus 9.5.
Take it as someone who locked in the Colts as an underdog last week. Just don't watch that game. Just hope that the score turns. Just hope it's like you're watching, like you're flicking by a red zone. It's like, oh, the Colts have a field goal to win the game, and then they miss it, and that's
my issue is I have a setup. There'll be 7 screens, and there's 9 games. And I'll say this right now. You know why I might not watch this Charger game this week?
Why?
Because Tiger's going to be in the final pairing on Sunday.
That would be amazing.
Of a tournament that's made up that isn't a real tournament? Oh, no. what an exciting event that would be to see him win the Hero Classic. That isn't a real thing.
The winner of this event will receive more official world golf rankings points than the person who wins like the Valspar or the St. Jude or anything like it's the 5th best field of the year.
It's an 18-man field without a cut. It's not a tournament. It's exhibition golf.
That's
it has zero implications.
And it has all the best players.
Yeah, it's a hit and giggle. Like, it's a hit and giggle.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. Tiger's going to make some birdies. Phil doesn't even get invited because he sucks too much.
Everyone on the U.S. President's Cup team is there that he glad-handed is getting sandwiches but Phil Mickelson.
By the way, there's a bet you can make right now.
I like it.
Yeah, Ben Coley put this. I think it was Ben Coley who put this out here.
No, fact. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so you can bet, and not every book has it, but there is a bet out there. Will Tiger be on the President's Cup team this year?
No, Ryder Cup 18 in
Ryder Cup team this year. Now, it's 10-1 for yes. And all you have to do is bet that, I mean, is there more than a 10-1 chance that Tiger stays healthy until next September? Because if he does, and he's like a mediocre player on tour, he's on the team.
A healthy Tiger Woods is going to France with this USA golf team 150%. The same reason
that Phil gets picked every year.
Yes, because guess what? Who's the captain again? I forget. Is it Love or Stricker?
Stricker, his best friend.
But best friend or not, when Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Justin Thomas, all call Stricker and say, you better be bringing the big cat, not the top cat. He's coming.
And NBC will be like, hey, we could use the ratings. You might want to have Tiger Woods.
There's no way a healthy Tiger Woods is left off this team. And as I gave, don't worry, Phil Mickelson got his USA Golf send-off at last President's Cup.
He'll be on the team, too. Phil and Tiger will both be on the Ryder Cup team. I don't think that's... And if they're both healthy...
I was joking.
They'll both be on the team. But you can get... It's 10-1 to bet that he'll stay healthy till next September.
Where's the bet? Everywhere?
I think it's on Betfair. I just saw Coley talking about it, and I was like, I would make that bet in a second.
And that's been dropping, because I think that was like in the 14 to 16 range, like a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All you do is betting on health, right? I mean, I take every one of those. The Ryder Cup is a television show. That's all it is. It's all it's ever going to be. If Tiger's healthy, he plays. That's all there is to it. So you are only betting on health, not on form or any of that nonsense. None of that matters because, it's just for television.
And even before he won a couple weeks ago, I predicted on Twitter, I said, this tweet's early, but I'm calling it. Ryder Cup captains?
Austin Cook.
Cantley and Tiger.
There's 3 for the Ryder Cup, isn't there?
Oh, maybe.
Or 4.
4 for the Americans, 3 for the Europeans, I believe.
There's 4 for the Americans.
Yeah, and 3 for the Europeans.
Yeah, because they do the...
the teams are bigger. Yeah, bigger,
and the Ryder Cup, they make their 3 picks. Then there's like the wild card selection, like after the Deutsche Bank.
Yeah.
Got the Billy Horschel rule. Yeah. I'm excited for golf to come back.
I am excited. Yeah. Well, maybe that'll be part of your Christmas.
Justin Thomas is in this field, right?
Yeah. Justin Thomas, Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, Hideki Matsuyama, Henrik Stenson.
It's pretty much every President's Cup American but Phil, and then
and Jason Day skipped it.
And
Jason
Day's also American President's Cup.
But Jason Day was invited. He's not coming. He's also a fatman now, by the way.
Justin Thomas wins it pretty easily.
I mean, he's the favorite. He probably should win. Hideki just trounced everyone last year. I bet Kisner to win at 25-1. Those are long odds in an 18-man field for a guy that sets up reasonably well for this course, and it's on Bermuda where he tends to play really well.
Kisner. Reed, because, I don't know, he might care. Might not lay down.
I think Reed has played on every continent the last 7 weeks. Like, the guy needs to chill out, and he has a baby on the way, too. So he might have to leave.
He's got a baby on the way, and Fleetwood's getting married on the grounds on Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In Bahamas.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That'd be pretty cool. You have like, I don't know, Tiger invited me to this thing. Let's just have the wedding there after I play in Tiger's event.
I like Tommy Fleetwood, and not just because he won me a bunch of money at the U.S. Open this year. If he had won, I wouldn't.
Has he played the Masters before, or will he be a rookie? No, because I've stared that thing down.
He played the Masters this year.
Like it.
I think so. I think he did not do well. There was a stretch for the season from like March, because I remember Fleetwood was he did play for sure because he came over and played the
WGC
and Arnold Palmer, and he shot like a 62 the final day of the Arnold Palmer. But, like, his putting was so atrocious from, like, April to the U.S. Open. And that was the reason that I ended up on him, because he was gaining, like, the most strokes out of anyone on the field off the tee and through approaches. But he was, like, losing 2-around putting. It's like, that could change.
And the thing with Fleetwood is we saw through Florida, the guy played on courses he'd never stepped on before in his life and really held his own. That's probably enough golf.
That's probably enough golf for now. We will be doing a year look ahead over the Christmas season.
Can't wait.
As it pertains to golf. But that's going to do it for Week 13. Good luck this week. I do want to thank Tim and Cust.
Tim and Cust.
That's not my name. Please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. I would appreciate it.
And don't forget to tweet your favorite Tim moments of the year using the hashtag Custy, C-U-S-T-Y. And you might want to even include Tim, like I said, to make him feel bad. It's funny. Geoff, thanks for being here.
Always.
You can follow Geoff on Twitter at GFienberg17. You can follow Tim at TimAnderson87. Isn't that right? That's the one you have to include in the handle.
That is my Twitter handle. I am the maven of the internet.
And not the maven of lines, because you don't know how lines work.
I know how lines work.
I don't know about that. Anyway, you can follow me at ThePME on Twitter. Remember, subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Audio Boom. And all of the video versions up on the Draftkings YouTube page. If you want to find the cheat sheet to the show, it's at facebook.com/ThePME, as is all my content. Best place to find it, actually, on demand. There's no stuff in between that you have to scroll through. It's all just content right there. Plus, some exclusive clips from the show, like Tim, who may or may not have cursed Bitcoin. So stay tuned for that. I'm Pat Mayo. Good luck in Week 13. I'll see you next time.